our material is folded already into two. Yes, and it has to be folded in bias form, this way, just the way I'm doing it. It has to be folded in bias form, and the one I just folded now is just for one part, that is for the front. So we're going to cut it into two folds, that is for the front bodice and back bodice. Meanwhile, we are working on the lower part of the gown. It's a gown actually. So the full length of this folded material is 45 inches. Because it's a gown, the full length of the gown is 61 inches. That is 59 inches plus 2 inches for stitching allowance. So when you minus the upper bodice, which is 16 inches, from 61 inches, we have 45 inches left for our lower bodice, which is the one we are working on. So now for our waist measurement, the waist measurement is 38 inches. So when you divide 38 into 4, we have 9.5 inches. So because there is going to be an elastic at the waist area, so I'm going to add more allowance. So once I marked 9.5 inches. So I went ahead to added 6 more inches as allowance, because there's going to be an elastic at the waist area. So from the waist area, I came down to 8.8 inches. That is our hip length. So the hip measurement is 44 inches. I took down 11 inches because 44 divided by 4 is 11. So I went ahead to add 2 inches only at the hip area. Now that will serve for joining allowance and for ease. So all the way from the waist, I connected it to the hip. So I'm going to use a pattern master, that is a ruler, to make it a straight line. You curve it in such a way it will be in this shape, from the hip length all the way down to the hem of the material. So that's the make it a straight line in that shape to the hem of the skirt. Yes. So now I'm going to take the length. Remember I said earlier the full length of the skirt is, or the lower bodice, is 45 inches. The 2 inches allowance has been included already. That's for folding at the hem area. So I marked 45 inches. So you keep on marking 45 inches in that form. So keep marking in that form. As you're marking, you are connecting, making sure it meets the already marked point. So that's that. So let's take a look of how I'm going to cut the skirt, our flare skirt. Take the overall look before I cut. So at the waist area, I'm going to make it curvy. So I came down to 1 inch. 1 inch from the waist measurement or waist length, so I curve it to meet to the other end, to the side. So what I will do next is to cut. So that's that for our front bodies. So let's take a look of how our flare gown is. Yeah. So look at the lower part. Look at how flare it is. So this is how to cut our flare skirt. So what I will do next, I will use these front bodies to cut the back bodies. So because our gown is going to have elastic at the waist area, so there's no need for the zip. It's sort of free gown, yes. So there won't be any need for the zip. So the same measurement I used in cutting the front, that's what I'm going to use to cut the back. So I've placed the front side on the back, front bodies on the back already, so I'm using it to trace out the back bodies. So that's the two together, the front and the back skirt. So what I did next is to notch. I gave it a notch at the center point so that it will enable me to know where to start joining the upper bodies. So here we are, the upper bodies. So I came down to, remember I said the upper body is 16 inches. So I came down to 17 inches. The 1 inch there is for joining at the upper and the lower area. So for our shoulder measurement is 16. 16 divided by 2, we have 8 inches. That's what I just marked down, 8 inches plus ½ inch for joining. Yes, ½ inch for joining at the sleeve area. So at the shoulder area, I want to take the neck width. So the neck width is 3½ inches, while the depth is 1½ for the back. Remember I'm cutting the back first. After cutting the back, I'll use it to cut the front because our front is a wrap top. So I came down to, for the shoulder slant, came down to 1 inch. I connected it all the way to our neck. So now for the armhole. So from that slanted area at the shoulder, I came down to 8 inches. Sorry for the shock, it's not too visible. So from that, our shoulder, I trace it down the armhole. So that's for the armhole. So now for our bust measurement, the bust measurement of the client is 40 inches. So when you divide 40 by 4, we have 10 inches. So I went ahead to add 2 inches for joining and ease. So for the waist measurement, our waist is 38 inches, just as I said before. So when you divide 38 into 4, we have 9½ inches. So I went ahead and added 3 inches extra as allowance. That's all the way from the armhole. That is the bust area. I trace down the armhole area. Then from the bust or chest line all the way to the half length. So I cut out the neck, the neckline area, shoulder area. Remember, this is the back. bodies we are cutting. So after cutting out the back bodies, I'm going to use it to cut out the front bodies. So that's that. So here we have our back bodies. So here we have our back bodies which is cut out. So at the waist, at the half length area, waist area, came up by 1 inch. So I'm going to trace it out, cut it out to give it a curvy shape. We are going to use it to cut the front. So here we have folded our front material already. Yes, it's been folded into two. So I now went ahead I placed the front, the back bodies on the front bodies. So here at this point, I'm going to look for half of the bust to bust span measurement. Yes, that is which is 8 inches of the client. I divided it into two. So it's 4 I trace out. This will act as our allowance for wrapping. Yes, it will give it that room for wrapping the upper bodies together. So here we have 4 inches mapped out. So what I will do next is to trace out the neck line. Yes, trace it out where exactly it stopped. So I'm going to use these back bodies to cut out the front. I trace it out all the way down. So here we have the sample for the front. So here is the 4 inches allowance for wrapping. So I shot down where the neckline stopped using the back bodies to trace out. So for the front neck, I came down to 7 inches. Yeah, because my client did not really want it too exposed or down, so that it will not expose the bust area. So I came down to 7 inches. So I'll use my pattern master to curve it. Yeah, I didn't want it to be that straight. If you want it in a V shape, you just use the slant area, but I use the curvy area of the pattern master to just give it a slant shape, just the way you see me do. So I gave it a slant shape or curve. So that's that. So what I'm going to do now, from that, the front neck where it stopped, the depth of the neck, so I'm going to trace it out using the slant side all the way down to the hem of the top. Yes, this area will have a slant shape. Why the other area? If you don't really want it this way, you can make yours to be all straight, slant. So I'll cut it out now. So let's cut it. Let's just watch. Be careful. Watch and see the way I'll curve it out at that point where our neck depth stop. You must have to give it that slant shape. So that's it. So now for the front armhole, remember our front armhole is always deeper than the back bodies. So I came in by ½ inch. Yes, it's always deeper than the back. So I'm going to use my pattern master to trace it out all the way to the chest area. So what I did next is to cut it out. So that's it for our armhole. So here it is. Here we have front bodies. So here is the shape of the neck, our slant neck. So remember we came in where we matched our 4 inches, our bust to bust span. So I gave it a notch. So at this point where we notched, that's where we are going to place together. We start stitching. So where we have our back bodies and our front bodies together. So now I've cut out our lining for our lower bodies. Yes, the front and the back all together mapped out. So now for the front upper bodies, so I'm going to close it from the neckline all the way down and top stitch it. Also join the side and now flip it round. Flip it to the other side and close at the lower area. That's what I'm going to do. Then for our sleeve, I've cut out our sleeve already. It's going to have elastic at the lower arm. Also at the upper area, I'm going to either gather it at the armhole area or plait it around. Yes, so in essence I cut out adding allowance for the elastic on both sides. So there is going to be elastic to hold it on both at the lower area. So I went ahead to cut out the lining piece for both the right and the left. So I will fix that and show us the final look of our flare gown. So thank you so much for watching till this point. Thank you so much. Please just click on the notification bell, okay, so that you'll be notified each time I upload a new video. Give us a thumbs up, okay? Yes, give us a thumbs up and please subscribe. It is free. Just click on that red button. Yes, thank you so much for sticking by. Till we meet in my next tutorial. So thank you so much. Bye. God bless you.